Listen up. What I'm about to tell you, you will not find searching on Google, in product description, or in product reviews. As a fact, you will not find what I'm about to tell you on the internet or written anywhere in a book or in a description. It is July 2022. What you see is a US Optics TS-25X and a Sig Sauer Sierra 3 BDX rifle scopes, or what I like to call it, Sig Sauer Sierra 3 BDX rifle scope. I'm going to answer some unanswered questions for US Optics owners and for those shopping around. Unanswered questions, or what you don't know about these two scopes. The unanswered question for US Optics TS-25X scope is, would a B series, or in particular a B17 Honeycomb anti-reflective sunshade device, fit onto a US Optics TS-25X or a US Optics TS-20X scope? The answer is in a gray area, meaning yes and no. Just like anything in life, many of you, particularly law enforcement, don't understand that not everything is black and white. There's a lot of gray area in life. First off, this TS-25X is the same as any TS-20X rifle scope that has a 50mm objective lens diameter. TS is the series, and the number 5-20 or 25 are just the zoom power. The B17 or B series US Optics Honeycomb anti-reflective sunshade device, which is also 50mm in objective diameter, will not fit onto a TS series rifle scope out of the box, but you can make it fit. Now, you can ask the manufacturer or US Optics about this matter, but they may be hesitant to tell you certain things for warranty reasons, I suppose. I didn't ask, as I'm a do-yourself kind of person, and since I can give two shits about warranty shenanigans. To do it, you must remove this objective bell or ring housing that comes threaded to fit other fittings. Out of the box, this ring will be threaded onto the front objective lens housing of the scope. So imagine this is the front. Here is the B17 B series Honeycomb anti-reflective device. I'm going to turn this upside down so you can get a better view, get focus. See, it will not screw onto the threading. So to confirm, this is a different fitting, as you may see. It is a pain to remove. I had to use a masking tape, an adjustable plier to carefully remove this objective ring. Grab that. This is what I use. Once removed, a 50mm US Optics B17 Honeycomb anti-reflective sunshade will fit onto a TS-25X or TS-20X US Optics scope with 50mm objective lens. Let's see if I can do this with one hand. So here's the ring removed. That looks stealthy. For some of you newbies, now don't take offense when I say some of you newbies. You're listening to a person that has been shooting and handling firearms since I was 12 years old. I'm now close to my mid-30s, well over 20 years of firearm experience without incident. So don't take offense when I call some of you newbies or having just a few years under your belt. Wait until you have over 20 plus years without incident or handling firearms safely, then you can maybe take offense. Looking through the scope with the Honeycomb installed onto the objective lens housing, ocular lens housing, correction, so you can get a focus. You won't see the Honeycomb obstructing the view. This TS-25X scope is a CMS Carolina Mill scale radical. By the way, a JVCR or competition type radical is another radical option for this particular scope. Look that up if you don't know. Speaking of objective lens, you should know the size of your lens housing or tube. Let me pull that up for you. As you see here, I have the US Optics TS-5-25 50mm objective lens diameter, but the housing is 58mm. Also look up Sig Sauer Sierra 3 BDX. I have the 6.5 by 20 zoom and 52mm objective lens diameter, but the actual housing is actually 60mm. So that's something to keep a note of if you're looking for a objective lens or ocular caps fittings, and more importantly, the clearance between the scope, the mount, and the rifle. Everything else about the scope, you can read the brochure or look at other reviews that covers the basic that aren't this much in depth as my reviews. I wouldn't even call this a reviews, as I don't put any effort into editing or making it entertaining. This is more of an informative video that covers what you won't find anywhere else. But the basics, it has a focus, parallax, illumination, elevation and wind turns, and it is in mil radians. Now remember, 1 MOA is 1 inch or 1.04 inches at 100 yards. 1 milliradians is 3.6 inches at 100 yards. So multiply by 2 at 200 yards, by 6 at 600 yards, and so on. Make your adjustments accordingly. 1 MOA, 1.047 at 100 yard. 1 milliradian, 3.6 inches at 100 yards. Moving on, Sig Sauer Sierra 3, Sig Sauer Sierra 3, BDX. Has the same adjustments, has illumination, elevation, and wind turns. The focus. But this is an MOA, I believe. Let's check. Yes, indeed is an MOA. Both tube mountings diameter, this area here and this area here for both scopes, are 30 millimeter in diameter. There are usually 3 diameters types for scopes or sizes. 1 inch, 30 millimeter, as you see here, and a 34 millimeter. So those are the 3. 1 inch, 30 millimeter, and 34 millimeter. For these 2 scopes, is 30 millimeter mounting diameters. What you don't know about the Sig Sauer Sierra 3 BDX is that the objective lens and the ocular lens are not in blue finish, as you would see advertised on the internet. It is a green glass finish. The rangefinder that comes with the combo is now also a Kilo 1600 instead of a green Kilo 2400 that it used to be. I'm glad these Kilo 1600 aren't in a silver cover finish as advertised. It is more of a darker gray. I like the green glass finish over blue because it makes the product looks more tactical than commercial. And I like the dark gray cover over silver. Silver cover would makes the rangefinder looks like something from Radio Shack or some commercial electronic. Darker shade of gray makes it look more tactical. What comes in the box? The US Optics comes with lens cover caps. This one here. And a microfiber towel or little objective and ocular lens cleaner. Doesn't come with these Butler Creek ones. I just like the buttons. The Sig has more goodies, but doesn't come with lens caps. Instead, the scope is wrapped or was wrapped in a bag inside this box housing. I think the US military uses the US Optics brand for the precision rifles. The much lesser evil than companies like Lockheed Martin, McDonnell Douglas, or Boeing with their fighter jets contract with the government. The Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor at $350 million per unit, or $120 million F-35 per unit. Price not including ordnance, maintenance, and software upgrades. US Optic, if they also have a contract with the government, much less evil with their $4,000 higher end B25 series scope, not these $1,000 or sub $1,000 TS series reasonable scope that I have. The high end US Optics B25 scope looks more to me like a torpedo submarine. Funny looking scopes. You can look that up. US Optics B25. This is not a B25. Not anywhere near that price range. To me, these lower end TS-20 or TS-25 US Optics looks more in proportion as a normal rifle scope. I like the fact that both brands I like the fact that both of these brands are American companies and hopefully manufactured in America. You never know. The Sig from New Hampshire since 2007, and the US Optics from North Carolina since 1991. I'll tell you, I grew up in a small American town in North Carolina. I don't live there anymore, but I visited. It isn't the same with the large migration of people moving there. Too many people always spoils everything. Food, water, and prices, healthcare, medical, family troubles, and rise in crimes. Well, that is all. You did not know that a B17 anti-glare Honeycomb fits onto a US Optics TS-25 or TS-20X. You didn't know that a Sig glass finish is green and not blue as advertised. The Kilo 1600 rangefinder is in a dark shade of gray cover and not silver as advertised. Well, now you know. One other thing I'd like to add, the manual doesn't have torque specs information for both scopes, mounting torque specs. But I would recommend torquing it to about between 14 and 18 inch pounds for mounting. Again, well, now you know.